So what I'm about to show you is, I'm just going to show you why I said what I said. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take y'all every step of the way and show y'all what our inspiration was behind, including the rest of the USA and the world potentially, and what we do every year. Every year we do this. So what I'm about to show you, every single year we do this without fail. We have games with the young people that go to our institution, our high school called Pfai'S Academy, where these young people, every year on this holiday, we go and we have games where they compete. We don't wait every 4 years. Like I said, this institution been around for 74 years. The university that we connected to has been around for 120 years. This is what we do. And when I looked at the numbers, in the Rio Olympics, they touched almost $40 billion. The Olympics, $40 billion went through the hands of the Olympics. And the sad thing about it was Rio looks no different in 2020 than it did before the 2016 Olympics. That's called waste. That's called income inequality. Then when we saw that they wasn't going to do the Olympics this year, they don't deserve to do the Olympics. When you have people living in favelas and living in abject poverty like they're living in, and then you come in and you bring the whole world into that abject poverty, and you let $40 billion flow, and the situation doesn't change for anybody except the rich just get richer. No, this is above humanity. That's a crime against divinity. That's a divine crime. That's a divine violation. You got to pay for divine violations where we come from. You have to pay for divine violations all day, every day. This is bigger than humanity. Humanity is amateur. Obviously, because humanity don't have a problem with what we're talking about. Obviously, humanity is amateur. Once again, we doctor life. We in the business of saving lives. We first responders. We respond to unnatural, artificial, man-made disasters. The whole Western Roman, Greco-Roman system is an unnatural, artificial, man-made disaster. Humanism is what they're proud of. It's what they promote. They promote humanism. And we promote sovereign divinity, bigger than humanism, bigger than humans that's willing to exploit our people. Brazil is already a slap in the face of humanity. the way they whitewash Brazil. Brazil is already a slap in the face. So we're going to do a little slapping back. And hopefully y'all take a page out of our book on every continent around the globe. But we're going to show you how to take the fake European who does everything, who has copied everything from us. Everything that they export around the world. You looking at it. Everything. Every single thing that they export. I'm going to show it to you. I got to find the right channel. I'm on the wrong channel. And there's no bigger, there's the deception. Will Smith was in a movie called 6 Degrees of Separation. All right. So everything that you're dealing with, you're 6 degrees away from the truth. That's all that movie was telling you. 6 degrees of separation is we got 6 layers of lies before you get to the truth. Don't believe a word we say. After you peel back the first layer, if you mess around and think you've done something, think you got wise, you got knowledge, and you settle with the second layer, you're going to be deceived because it's 6 degrees of separation from truth. The Greco-Roman and the blacks that taught the Greco-Roman did not create anything. So what we do is we make everybody prove it. We call them bluffs here. In politics, fashion, sports, all of that. They do the same thing when you come into the store, when you come into the store, you come into the bank. They verify your notes that you're exchanging are authentic, right? If we're going to be engaged in an exchange, you got to be authentic because we are authentic. You can't be fake and exchange with us. Because I get robbed. When I'm authentic and you're fake and I allow you to exchange with me, I'm the one getting robbed because you are enriching yourself at my expense. I'm the authentic one. What you're giving me has no value. What I give you has supreme value. So if I allow you to come and be fake and exchange with me and I'm 100% the root, authentic, I just got robbed. And every time I sit here and I let you tell a narrative about how you robbed me, and then go tell the world that you're better than me, and go tell the world that you're wiser than me, and go tell the world that you was the first, you was the first, you was the first. Prove it. This is all this is about. Just prove it. To the Aryan, to the Chinese, to the whatever, just prove it. Prove you was the root. To the Christian, to the Muslim, to the Buddhist, prove that you got enlightenment. Prove that you got wisdom. Prove that you head and shoulders above the world. Prove, because we prove it all day and every day by how you export everything that we do around the world. You just change the names on it. Over in Japan, they got little young people in love with K-pop. Little young people in love with K-pop. All that is the Jackson 5s 50 years later. That's all K-pop is. That's all K-pop is. Because everything that the K-pop artists stole, they stole from cats like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Justin Timberlake and them. And Justin Timberlake and them stole from Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. Stole from Usher. Stole. There is no K-pop without Chris Brown. There is no K-pop without Destiny's Child. There is none. We have no genre. But just like the European, the Japanese, they call themselves Asian, and then they go over, they put a different name on it. We come from that's biting. The whole world studies, and gives no credit. Then y'all try and act like when a person of color wins Miss Japan, y'all want to act like she don't belong. She's the face of Japan. Europeans just came into Japan. 1800s Europeans just got into that part of the world. Just. They was too busy trying to come over here into the United States of America. And it wasn't until they got enriched by us that they was able to expand into 1800s. Before the 1800s, I'll get into it. I'll show it to y'all. Listen, so the reason that we inviting y'all to join us is because the U.S. there's a text in the word that says, when you look at nature, the invisible becomes visible, so man is without excuse. When you look at nature, so if any human being is being unnatural and fake in disguise and is hidden, nature will expose you. So time is up in the United States of America. We're not playing with the fake over here anymore. So United States is not the United States of America, okay? The United States of America is not the red, white, and blue. Did y'all hear me? The United States of America is not red, white, and blue. The United States of America is blue, white, and red. Obedience first. Blue is the color of obedience. Red is the color of sacrifice. If you get off course and disobey. Red is the backup plan if you off course with your disobedience. Red, white, and blue is for Britain, for Greece and Rome, for all of the bloodshed that they shed to their pagan deities. And they wanted to tell y'all that they came to the U.S. and they, as Christians, and that the U.S. and the European founding fathers of the United States are Christian. So the first thing we're going to do is you got to make them prove it. The moment that you catch them in a lie, that makes them fake. The moment that they fake, they can't lead nothing. All you got to do is make them prove it. Just prove it. Who is that? You knocking for me or them? See what this says? This says Olympic flame lighting ceremony for Tokyo 2020. This is telling you that they still lit. They still lit this flame.
With this gesture, she sends a message of recognition and thanks to her dance teacher Maria Horus, who took part in the first Olympic flame lighting ceremony in Olympia in 1936 and was the choreographer for more than 30 years.
So first of all,
Horus was the last surviving priestess from the 1936 ceremony. She died in 2015.
So first of all, this is the Greeks and the Romans still claiming their Aryan superiority. So that's first and foremost reason why the Olympics fumbled. This day has long been gone. And in 2020, they still trying to hold on to their gods, the worship of Apollo, their Aryan superiority. And when you join them in this, you condone their behavior.
At the age of 94 and choreographed the presentation ceremony from 1964 in Tokyo through to 2006.
Watch this. Watch this. Stay with me. Check this out. Yeah, that was not the right one.
European quarter of Brussels, looking for a mythical woman who has become an emblem of the European Union. And here she is. She's called Europa, she's hanging onto a bull, and the building behind her houses both the European Council and the Council of the European Union. Note that she has not taken the bull by the horns, she's clinging on for dear life. In the Greek myth, the god Zeus took a fancy to Europa, a Phoenician princess. He transformed himself into a white bull and made sweet lowing noises. Naturally, Europa climbed onto his back, and he made off with her, swimming across the ocean to Crete where he raped her.
So once again, now you have the Olympics dedicated to Apollo. You have the European Union dedicated to Zeus and Europa. So when the European Union brings the Olympics to the world, they're saying we still worship these gods. We still have Aryan supremacy.
The continent of Europe was named after her sometime during the 8th century. It so happens that Europe is Europa in the vast majority of European languages. Europa.eu is the European Union's official website. Europa on the Bull has been on an Italian and a Greek 2 euro coin and a UK stamp. Europa herself is on the euro per series of banknotes, while the bull alone is on EU residence permits throughout the European Union. On the 5 stars are the Hyades, the head of the Taurus, the bull constellation in astrology. So Europa on the Bull has become a kind of unofficial symbol of the EU. She's even depicted on a mural inside the Paul-Henri Spaak Parliament building here in Brussels. Another statue of her is outside the main entrance of the European Parliament in Strasbourg. Here we see the steel bull lowing, the bronze Europa about to be abducted, and curiously 10 glass rings around the back parts of the bull, calling to mind the 10 rings around the, as it were, finished parts of the European Parliament building itself. But why 10? There were 6 founding members of the European Economic Community and 12 founding members of the European Union, including the UK. There are 12 stars on the EU flag. 10 means nothing in the EU. So are the 10 rings an allusion to another demonic animal? In the Bible, in chapter 17 of the Revelation to John, he saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-coloured beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Verse 12 says the 10 horns are 10 kings, 10 earthly rulers. So what are the parallels between Europa and the woman, the bull and the beast? Firstly, the Apostle John's audience will have identified the woman as the Roman Empire. Her description in verse 5 as mystery, Babylon the Great, shows a link back to the book of Daniel and continuity with the spirit of all earthly totalitarian dominions. She is sat on the beast. She is not controlling his direction. Just like Europa on the bull, she is going wherever he wants. Secondly, in chapter 2 of Revelation, Pergamos, the town of one of the 7 churches, is said to be the site of Satan's seat. Satan's seat was an altar to Zeus. So Zeus is a spiritual manifestation of Satan, just like the Antichrist beast of Revelation. The beast, in whatever form he appears, is the demonic spiritual power behind Babylon, Persia, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, and any new earthly political empire which rejects God, just as the EU has done in its treaties and its attempted constitution. So it concerns me to see Eurocrats fawning over the image of Europa on the bull. Are they consciously setting up a new Roman Empire? Are they telling the people of Europe we're being taken for a deranged ride? Zeus got Europa on his back by deception. He took her off and violated her. Are we too being lied to about the destination and purpose of the European Union? Or by idolising Europa on the bull, are the EU's leaders even cursing us, inviting Satan and the destruction he brings right into Europe? Because if any of that is the case, I'm not sure I want to be tagging along.
The Tower of